Hello boys and girls, welcome back to our English class. Today we are going to learn from Unit 8. The title of the lesson is Letter from Kalam. It can be found on page number 43 in your Learning Ladders textbook. It is a very interesting story about a little girl about your age called Asta. Asta was an animal lover. She could not stand people teasing or hurting animals. She cared for animals so much that she would go up to people who mistreated animals and would tell them to stop this cruelty. This behavior of hers was not received very well by adults or children. She began to lose a lot of her friends in school, but she did not seem to mind it. She used to say, people who are not good to animals cannot be good to anyone. Her father did not agree with her necessarily, but he never discouraged her. But her mother, on the other hand, was like her, an animal lover. She even used to work with some organizations that would help take care of animals. And Asta used to accompany her mother to all these meetings and even rallies. This really influenced her mind about taking care of animals. One evening, Asta was coming back home with her friend Abida from a nearby playground. On the way, they saw a dog yelping in pain. It also had a few puppies next to it, but nobody was helping the dog. Asta and her friend Abida ran to the dog and tried to help the dog, but there wasn't much they could do. So they stood on the road and pleaded and begged with people to help them to take this dog to a vet or a doctor who treats animals, but nobody obliged. And finally, they decided to take matters into their own hands. They tried to move the dog and it was so heavy. When these little girls started to do this, people around them were ashamed and they came forward to help them. And one of those people was Asta's father. He was returning home in his car and he stopped the car and helped the girls to take the dog to the vet. The doctor checked the dog and assured them that it is going to be well. Asta and her father returned home and the news spread about these two little girls trying to save this street dog, and everybody was appreciative of that, and people began to be a little kinder to the animals around them because of this courageous act of these girls. But Asta was not very happy. She wanted to do more. She discussed with her parents about what more can be done to save and take care of these street animals. And finally, her mother suggested one thing, that if only the government would support, that is when real change can be made. That made Asta think very deeply, and she struck upon an idea, and that was to write to the President of India. She wrote a long letter explaining about her heart to reach out to help animals to the then President, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Almost a month went by and she did not get a response back. One fine afternoon, when she was about to lose hope about receiving any response from the Rashtrapati Bhavan, she got an envelope. Yes, that was a letter from the President himself, and it read like this. Dear Asta, I hope this letter finds you in good health and in high spirit. I could not reply to your letter earlier because I was caught up in work. For that, I owe you an apology. I find it really inspiring to see little children like yourself standing up for a cause that unfortunately not many care about. Your concern for the safety and well-being of stray animals has truly moved me. I'll do, I promise, everything I can do to make the lives of these neglected and often abused animals better. I hope you too will carry on the good work and make this world a better place for everyone. President of India, APJ Abdul Kalam. This was written on 21st of June 2006. Asta could not believe her eyes. She was holding a letter from the President of India. The words that were typed on the page were meant for her, the appreciation was for her and her belief. She was now convinced that the voice of common people can be heard. You just have to know how to say it and whom to. I think that is the lesson that we learn from this chapter as well, that we can have a voice and we have to make that voice heard in the right way and to the right people. Let's move on to the word meanings. As always, there's a set of words and their meanings that are given. Look through those and learn the meanings and get familiar with these new words. Also try and use them in sentences. Let's look at one example. Reprimand. That means a rebuke or a scolding. Let's try and use that in a sentence. The teacher reprimanded the students for their bad behavior. Moving on, the next section is learn words. Read the following sentences carefully. Each sentence has a misspelt word. Underline the word and rewrite the sentences with the correct spellings. I have underlined the misspelt words for you. Now we will try and correct all these misspelt words. Let's look at the first one. Mount Everest is the tallest mountain in the world. Mount Everest is misspelled here. The correct spelling is EVEREST. Number 2, Partha has invited us to his house for lunch. Invited is misspelled. The correct spelling is INVITED. Number 3, we are leaving for Trivandrum tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow is misspelled. The correct spelling is TOMORROW. So there is a double R and no double M. Number 4, Ginny's grandfather gave us some valuable advice. Valuable spelling VALUABLE. Number 5, Prakash has a very good hold over grammar. Yes, grammar is wrongly spelled. Let's correct that. GRAMMAR. Number 6, the tall mango tree in our garden has stopped bearing mangoes. Stopped has double P in it. STOPPED. Number 7, Ria is a national level badminton champion. What's the spelling of champion? CHAMPION. That's right. Let's look at the next section. Arrange the given set of words in the right order as they would appear in a dictionary. I hope you know how to look up a word in a dictionary. The same rules apply here as well. We just have to look at the order of the letters and then see what comes first. Here's the solved order of all these sets of words. Let's move on to the comprehension section. We have questions here, and when you read through the passage, you will be able to answer these questions well. Let's look at a couple of them. 1. What were the things that Asta could not stand? Asta could not stand people being unkind and cruel to animals. What exactly is given here? Asta could not stand people beating or teasing animals. Number 2. What made Asta's father feel uneasy and why? Asta's father felt uneasy because he could not connect with Asta when it comes to her love for animals. Asta's father felt uneasy because he wasn't sure if he cared for animals the same way Asta did. So likewise, you can go through the rest of the questions and answer them and see if you understood the passage well. The next section is answer the following questions with reference to the context. There is a line from the passage that is given here. You have to read that and understand the context and then answer the questions. Number 1, people who are not good to animals cannot be good to anyone. Who is the speaker? Asta is the speaker. What was the speaker ready to do for her beliefs? In this context, we understand that she was ready to lose some friends who did not care about animals, who did not care to be kind to animals. Do you agree with the opinion of the speaker? Give reasons for your answer. This is for you to answer. See, this is where you have to realize that you need not agree with everything that is written there. You can have your own opinion. So what is your opinion about people who are unkind to animals and about you being friends with them? So what is your answer and what is your reason for that answer? Are you an animal lover? Do you have friends who are not animal lovers? Are you okay with being friends with people who are not kind to animals? How do you deal with that situation? Do you cut off from them? Do you speak to them? If you speak to them, how do they take what you say to them? All these things are for you to answer. The next one is the grammar section. In this chapter, we are going to learn about prepositions. I'm sure you're familiar with prepositions. These are words that connect the nouns or the pronouns in a certain sentence. Examples would be in, on, by, to, between, beside, behind, through, across, etc. Let's look at the exercise that's based on the concept of prepositions. Fill in the blanks using appropriate prepositions from the given options. So there are some options that are given. You have to pick out the most appropriate option. Number 1, he climbed dash the mountain, on or up. He climbed up the mountain. 2, the dog has taken shelter dash the tree, in or under. The dog has taken shelter under the tree. 3, Rachna is hiding dash the pillar, behind or beside. Rachna is hiding behind the pillar. Number 4, are you dash England, from or to? Are you from England? Number 5, Jamuna is dash vacation, in or on. The phrase is on vacation. Jamuna is on vacation. Number 6, the sprinter leaped dash the hurdles, on, over. The sprinter leaped over the hurdles. Well done. The next one, underline the prepositions in the given sentences. 1, let us go to the park. 2 is the preposition here. 2, he ran across the field as fast as he could. Here the preposition is across. It is connecting the pronoun he to the other noun field, right? So that is the preposition. Number 3, Shalini made her way through a crowd of admirers. Through is the preposition. Number 4, I sat between Jim and Julia. Between is the preposition. Number 5, Mr. Rajesh lives in the apartment above ours. Here, in is the preposition. Number 6, the pen was lying beside my bag. Beside is a preposition. We've come to the last section of this chapter, that is learn to communicate. The first one is listening and speaking. Now I am going to speak about a favorite leader of mine, and then you have to do your part. You have to think of a leader that you like and speak about that leader. Okay, let me go first. One of the leaders that I really look up to is Mother Teresa. I know that she is not a political leader. She doesn't have a fancy title to her name, but she is a very great leader in my eyes. To me, a leader is somebody who has a great influence over others. And the way Mother Teresa has influenced hundreds and thousands of people by directly helping them and also by inspiring them to do better, I feel she is a very great leader. Mother Teresa is from Yugoslavia and she came to India and she settled down in Calcutta and she picked up our language and she reached out to a lot of downtrodden people, helpless, homeless, sick people. She set up the Sisters of Charity and it has mission work all over the world. That's one of the leaders that I look up to. And how about you? Why don't you think about what you like about in the leader that you like and then talk about it? The more you speak, the better you get at speaking. The next section is writing. Write a letter to your friend inviting him or her to dinner at your house on Christmas Eve. So when you write a letter, keep in mind all the parts of a letter. It has to start with your address, then the date, then the address of the person you are writing to. Then you have to address them, dear so and so. Then comes the body of the letter, and the body here as given is inviting them to a dinner at your home. And then you stop it with yours truly or yours lovingly and then write your name and then sign on it. That's how you write a letter, and all the best. That brings us to the end of the lesson. So go back and read the lesson, speak and practice, write and practice. Look at all the word meanings, look at the grammar section, and it's all there for you to practice, and practice makes perfect. Good day and see you later.